Hello. Um, the word of the week is recognition, and it's going to be a beautiful weekend. We have 3 days with Monday, bank holiday, and I wish everyone a good time. I don't know how it's in other parts of the world, or if anyone would see this video. So, the last week of the month is for related, as I will talk for the scenario and that which is around. So on the last days of the month, which are in between 2 months, that's after the fourth month, would be the sequence and how the moving weathers are in portals and doors and gates, skin to skin, channel, fusion, transition, movement, change, juxtaposed between scenes, people and or values, with or against. So that also comes with the scenario where you're coming from. And I think it's just still the fourth. It's still the fourth week of the month. So before that, that scenario, which is related for the fourth week of the month, that is with or against as well, because you can leave from a scenario and say, I will never return. Yeah, that happened to me in Thailand. I love India, and people are so friendly and kind and welcoming, and it's such a colorful country with the silk. No matter how poor or rich, they all look so beautiful with the saris and flowers and the incense. It has that spiritual connotation as well that makes it India so special with the flavors and spices. It's another world, totally. So Thailand was like, beautiful beaches, beautiful food, nice culture, the Buddhist. Never return again because of its people. And that makes the scenario not very appealing as to return. And probably I could have met better people, but they are an average person in Thailand. Don't know if the Chinese who go to holiday are the same as the people from Thailand, or what is the difference between the people from Thailand and Taiwan, which is another island. And they have their history together with and against. So what defines them, what unites them, what can be transformed is a portal of understanding with and in between for the prosperity of your story, because the stories can relate through multiple directions, so there is no need to struggle. It is important to keep oneself loyal to everything that you have done and your friends, and that's kind of like the scenario that you keep within you, around you. That's your cover as well, and you make it out of your construct beyond your nationality and identity. So this is also as well very profound, as to say the fourth week does not truly come around as the last and total outcome of a goal, which is with or against, is to win or study around that scene, weather, outside, atmosphere, environment, entity beyond oneself, and the surrounding aesthetic as such. Because now that I have moved to this place, I might renovate the back of the house. The sun is right behind me, which for filming I should be in the opposite direction, but I don't feel like having my eyes. So well, here we are. I am very sorry for the news. I'm hearing the news. I'm like, wow, America has really revolutionized taking Trump out with the internet and people believing that there is truth and involvement. When I was in America studying script writing with the teacher of visual arts school on 14th Street, I had a lot of confrontations because I was the best in the class and that was not acceptable because I was a Spanish woman there. So they really, everyone, it's called the envy of the writer, which is among writers know as the envy of the writer is um, on that time, which let's say was 20 years ago, 25 years ago, a quarter of a decade, I was saying, you people don't know in America what it is to have a revolution. You did it in the hippie times, but nobody talks about politics. Nobody cares about politics. On that time, Giuliani was the mayor of New York City, and he started to close the pubs and discos at 4 o'clock in the night in the city that never sleeps, which when you walk the streets of New York, and I am a night cat. I really love the night and to mingle with people, be a stranger. Many people ask me if I was famous because I would dress every time in a very different way. Because I really like to see how people judge me because of how I was dressed and not for my character. So it was just funny to see the judgment as I would dress sometimes in vintage dresses and walk with these high heels, very girly. And hear what there was. Oh, that's a typical girl that is looking for a millionaire guy and is going to do everything that he wants. And what people would say, right? Because people talk in the summer on the terraces of the restaurants. I would dress in so many styles. The black people would look at me when I would dress. I would put the braids from the hair salon. On that time was Timberland boots and all that, big jeans and I would match. I would match. I would go to Wall Street and put my gray suit with lines and put my hair more kind of like and walk with my suit. I was visiting a friend who was teaching me, and all the white people there nodding at me and a few other. Wait, because New York is a very in the air of the street. In every moment, people are interacting. There is a chemistry within the air everywhere you go in New York City. love that. I miss that so much. I had so many friends for so many years. And in your 20s, you are uh, so exploratory. I mean, I would really end up anywhere, very open-minded, and keep studying and working very hard, and try to give my daughter the ambition and drive to to push forward. But she lacked discipline for some reason. It was very hard for me competing with the families who were just, taking the credit, taking all my money and taking the credit. Anyways, I want to recognize that I have come from a long road, and the more I listen to 𝙎𝙪𝙭𝙩𝙖, because he's been majestic, his series on Lucy Let Be, how intricate the detail, because we can get to listen to other psychiatrists' opinion. We can see the letters, the evidence she left. We can mirror and feel within her what took her to think differently. Let's put it that way. In a bad manner, is to say nothing really matters but me, and I will get something out of this. At least a relief that I am in control. With 13 babies. Wow, I think of my children and always think they're alive. I'm alive. I want to be alive. I was screaming to my ex-boyfriend, my last boyfriend, Randy. Not screaming, because we were hugging, very much in love. I was, it was kind of like a scream, but not screaming. Because when you're so in love and hugging, and it's, I want to be alive. It's kind of like, I wanted to die with him, but I couldn't be a drug addict. I couldn't follow his path. My body would reject the drugs. I would have to go to my studio to be away from his friends and all the drug in the air, and just be with him when he was alone. And I love him very much, but I could not take the responsibility of him and trying to get my children back. It was not compatible to gain points. So I knew it was going to be very hard. I was very heartbroken when you have found true love. And it doesn't matter if it's perfect or not, but it's true love. So it's very hard to disengage from a relationship, I have realized. So for me, it's very difficult to engage with a relationship and be total, because once I do engage, I am total. I give more than 100%, and people seem to not match with me. Let's put it like that, because I can match, but they don't match with me. So this is kind of like a recognition and thankfulness to the father of my children, who destroyed all my life, because I chose him for that once again. And he was so beautiful and handsome and healthy with his body and part of his mind as well. I can understand twisted, and I'm not very judgmental. It's just that, don't touch my money, don't respect certain boundaries. But one has no boundaries as well, and trying to build distance to protect myself has put me more and more into a zone of knowing where I am, knowing the benefit I can provide, and studying how I'm going to let it roll so the circling of 9 times at a time can happen for a few. Because the more I go trying to face the reality of others, the more I see the others belong to their own reality, and they cannot surf through the waters. Because sometimes you gotta let go of the wave and know how to dive and let the wave roll on top of you. So yeah, it takes to. I used to be hours and hours in the water, but hours and hours in the water with waves, with huge waves, with swimming pool. I wish I recovered that discipline. I need a system that can encapsulate me so I can reframe myself to the schedule, to that belonging, to that performance. So right now is a moment of recognition. Really wish to buy that pen. Gosh, so beautiful. And it just got there and then it was sold out. But when I pressed there, it was not sold out because it has the wave and the birds and the mountain. Japan. Oh my god. Well, can wait for that particular fountain pen and to regain impulse. Kind of feel weird because I'm new to this house. The person is perfect, clean, orderly. This is like being in India and New Jersey at the same time, but with British houses. And drive is flat. So I'm in the bicycle like, yeah, because in London it's like going downtown London is like I'm 15 minutes down there. And then going home is like it's up the hill, right? So London has a lot of ups and downs, and the valley is all straight where the Buckingham Palace is, and Keith Garden, this the center of the old city is flat. But where I live is, I mean, you go with a car or the bus, it would take like 50 minutes because because of the lights. With a bicycle, I'm down in 15 minutes. Um, I, I shouldn't drive because I change personality when I drive. I say to myself, you know, maybe you're older and you're mature enough to drive, but I still love the speed. So is that I am in control of all the what's going all around 360 degrees and more, even from what's not there, that I could sense it, that I know I am all powerful. And that's kind of my psychopath trait coming to life. Because I mean, I could be a prosocial psychopath, but I could relate to the darkness as if I am, because I shut off all my personality belongings and just listen. Just listen. I become there. I become without being. So I could understand Lucy. Let be. I've done many things that been secretly done by me, and just that I know I've done it. I don't need the recognition. It's good enough that I have done it. Been popular. I have done symposiums. I have people crying on their knees and thanking me. Many. Uh, many people and couples as well, coming to thank me because I made them dance and they had the best night of their life. Because I dance with everyone and then I can dance. I can unleash myself. So I miss all that wealth and abundance, getting lost, being part of humanity, uh, and, and having that wealth in my pocket to move on. The thing is that I don't want to flirt with people, and then I don't like the drunk people. So that's what took me out of dancing. Got tired of the people smoking or nothing is perfect, I guess. So going to the gym is kind of like, I will be doing the same thing in this machine. So I'm going to use the gym for these last days because I have paid for August. Today is the 26th of August of 2023. Listening to the news, and Joe Biden is going to be president for 1 year and many more months. So I'm worried about the office, the situation in the world, because our leaders are important. And or to be polite and nothing to 2023. About politics, to let things follow the course of their nature. Will it be a day that the president is honest? Do we really need to have presidents? We do need a voice that speaks in behalf of what's needed ahead, even if it's conjoined with a group of people and thinkers of the best kind. I'm very sorry because so much work to get there, and then look at Donald Trump. I mean, the world is watching, and they must be admiring Americans to the extent of saying, I wish we could do this. We could do this. Do we have a good president? The thing is that the Democrats have organizations that are legal. They are sponsored by people of politics and government. And these organizations, and you go enter there, and they say it. This is to destroy the other party. So, I mean, it's interesting because some people talk about not having political parties that fight against, because to one extent you need people that can bring you down if they find evidence that you have done all this. But how are you going to get into that position if you're not corrupted? Yeah, because everyone lies to make themselves better, to cheat, to have more, to take from others, to have votes. They spend all their time and money for propaganda. All these people that people think they're so powerful, and that's how they sell. I know very well. My mother is a marketer. I grew up wishing to never be like her all my life. She would teach me all the ways to be like her, and I would look at her and think, oh my gosh, like, how could you be my mother? So I love my mother so much, and at the same time I have a relationship that is very, it's like I am her at the same time, deep inside. And I can relate to the, which also needs to be done through these type of characters. Yet it's not the way for the future generations. There's nothing more I wish than to be with my children. I wish to have the recognition so my big brother that stops treating me like trash, thinking that other people are better, when I have been giving all this to her as well, with the help of a family and the government that I had married the government without papers. That was my consciousness. I knew that I was not going to be the father, but I was going to have these children with strangers. Strangers were going to be my family. People that I were not even friends or acquaintances. People that sometimes I would have never met or would never meet. I wanted to bring my children that for certain, if I knew I would have to go through all this. I guess if you are in a spiritual state, you would say yes, because the harm, the weight, all that does not count when you are just in the spiritual realm. The heaviness and the gravity that attaches you to earth with all its needs to maintain yourself with those feelings. So I was thinking again, like, 'cause I cannot go like the sexy woman that I used to be. It's not about the age, but it's because I feel guilty as a mother to not finish my work and regain my children. So I cannot love anyone really, because it's kind of like this thing to think that relate love with intimacy. So I just wanted to think, just imagine that you can cover yourself and you just meet someone that loves you and you can admire this person because he's superior as a man. You can serve this person, but this person at the same time understands your character and whom you are and what you're doing and everything that you could share. Not everything, but that which you could share. So it is impressive to see that men want to be with many women, and or they don't want to engage because it's very difficult to understand one single woman. When I think about men nowadays, because women can do their job and say, I can pay my bills. I don't need to listen to you. And the man can say, I can eat myself and clean my house and pay my house. I don't need you as well. I don't need these problems or these dramas. Where is the ink? Well, I don't know where the ink came from. So I was looking for this office and I was like, wow, if I rent an office, I won't be able to build character because people will be watching me and then thinking, what character there? I have a character to impersonate, which is futuristic. And I need a private driver to get there. That will hardly be when I have solved my formula. Because I don't want to walk like that through life. I don't want to call for attention when I walk. As one is somehow, or recover my children with that look. Like, get a normal job with that look. Just to always dress like that, always have the hair like that. It makes me laugh because it's a little bit of a nasty joke to have that look and not talk too much with people, just with one or like five in charge, something like that. Because I really love to be alone as well. That's good to recognize within the scenario. So afraid for this new place, been in the same place for 4 years. Don't feel really like I can do this today or tomorrow. But I will consider it for these remaining days until September. Move on. Because the next month of September will be the first week, which is the vibration. The vibe is change. The second week, which is within healing or regenerating. And for all of us, as we watch these people in jail going at the same time, it's still surreal because there's so much joy around the world to open our senses and feel the height sense of safety and welcomeness. The third week, which is the cover, that which is new, the news, new. And the fourth is wonder, the fourth week, which is the scenario. Wonder. So that tells the narrative of a story. As you enter the scenario and you are about to enter the next, because it's a second video about the second week. So I am not yet in the sequence, but preparing. So it's different than just being on the sequence, moving from months to months. Is to say you are putting a sequence of scenarios. So I would say we'll be moving to a scenario which causes wonder, because in Greek mythology you also have scenarios that don't have a scene as such but are governed by a god. So the god is bringing that scenario because it has come to light, and in that moment it has domained the scenario. So as to say certain characters as well, or extraordinary, say, is the decoration, the setup, the montage. It's the same theater stage. It is the same house, perhaps. Maybe got destroyed and renewed, whatever. So that would be like the next month scenario. And one starts with a vibe. So it's already kind of like bringing a vibe for a scenario for that, which is from here, still feeling the unknown is one of the rules of role plays, to remain on uncertainty, and to stop fighting uncertainty and the unknown. One of the rules of role play, the more you roll, the more you know. So we have to recover a lot. I wish I could pay the role players monthly and be in charge, in control, aware of the situation as the world is going by. Putin is making it worse, continuing the war, but he wants whatever recognition as well. And Americans want worldwide recognition as the leaders of the world. It's kind of like, gosh. We, as a Western world, we won't stop fighting until the end for this freedom. So it's hard to think that people just die. What is there really? What where's my father, my auntie, my uncle? How could I do to be with my mother in her last years and get to enjoy her fully? So I might get a camera, I might get a normal job, I might just hire an office and just keep posting. Be aware of the situation, because this is a dangerous neighborhood as well. They're gonna be walking in the night. They are also homeless people living in the sleeping in the streets. Have seen some drug addicts. So it's not a place where I could uh, feel reliable at night. And this is not a place where I could be working the computer at night, which is the time in America. So I'm gonna have just to wake up at 6 in the morning. The battery is gonna run out. Um, um, I'm happy for the people of India to see Rishi Sunak. The Hindu community has bring balance in Asia. to help contain world war. Beautiful people of India. This is a neighborhood that reminds me of India so much. Of course, the majority of people in United Kingdom are British, Scottish, Irish. Here it's kind of like safe and stable and balanced in the political realm. Very sorry for Boris. What happened after all this virus, people dying, all went on himself thanks to the hatred and being out of control of other people's doings, being led by this Luciferian Lucy led by. It was funny, somebody said Lucifer. There are many women like that who are depicted as witches, very beautiful and nice and angelical. I have dealt with them. Could be one of them. Sometimes I'm afraid of myself. So, as to say, are you gonna let things as they are, or are you going to cease with change? Because always things to get better, from what I know. So, well, can't believe it. So, just to imagine, this street I live on is called Montage, and the zip code has SL storyline on RP of roleplay. I'm like, take me. So it's storyline 1, SL1. I'm like, all right, focus with the storyline. I didn't really think about it because in Spanish is montaje. This is montage. I was so stressed just trying to see where's the address and with to get there and all this, and the zip codes, just letters there. And it was after I rented it. I said, no, I want to right now. Really, it was perfect. It was the first room I went to see. I had another one which was better. But already, by the way, they talked to me, I was like, talk like that to me. So the feeling already, the vibe was not my scenario. So I went to see this one first because it was within the frame of same hour, 5-6 o'clock. So I came this one to see this one first. Very grateful for all the people who helped me to be here where I am. I have my freedom. That I'm responsible for my expenses, my income. Cannot blame anyone because it takes from me to keep learning and perceiving others without judgment here. because life is an eternal movement of changes as well. If you are on a certain degree and dimension of understanding, that you as well can be part of that change as a creator, which is a creator from far away. There is God, and the board is there. I really wish to have the three-dimensional sort of hologram to explain what roleplay is about with the right people. I kind of relate is even if my psychic knows who you are, I cannot relate through characters for a business. Kind of like fake. So it's like, yeah, I gotta trust that. I gotta trust. Like, yeah, I cannot speak with through characters building because then these characters are the way they are and they can only speak. Bye.